Hello everyone, and welcome to the week 3, I think, week 3? Yeah, you can tell that I'm really ahead on this, of the BFR. This is the Mancini the Amazing Challenge. My opponent's team consists of Pokemon they may in fact be using to try and defeat me, even though there is nothing that I have done wrong. You know, very humbly lost last week by my opponent simply playing better. And then this week, I will try not to have that happen, but my opponent's team is just crazy here. Very, very respectable team. It sort of feels like they have, a lot of the parts of my team, but just better. You know, they've got another, they've got the opposing, faster, expanding force, what's it called? I don't know what they're called. The, Paradox Pokemon. They've got Chi-Yu, versus my Chien-Pao, which synergizes better with their overall team. Certainly if I had drafted their team, I wouldn't be calling it the biggest Pokemon team of all time, or whatever I called mine. I called mine a lot of things. I don't know what I'm calling it for the title of this video yet. Then you've got the Hatterene and Ursaluna here. There's a strong Trick Room core, which is a little bit, more consistent than my Diancie Hippo. And then they've got, interestingly, a Mega Venusaur, which is sort of fitting a similar role to Petron. And then they also sort of have Regieleki there as like a speed up. So, very sort of interesting things sort of going on in this team. Sort of, apparently. But it mostly just feels like a better version of my team, without a lot of the wackiness. So, how have I decided to deal with a team that feels like mostly just my team is better? I'm gonna punch it in the face. Dracovish in sand, if it's max speed, Jolly, is 1 point faster than Regieleki, which is really funny. I don't really have a great way to deal with Aegislash nonsense, but Vicious Wren, Psychic Fangs, Bulldoze, Protect. 1 point faster than Aegislash. And then I have Hippo there with Helping Hand, in case there's a Pokemon that I really need to do damage to. I don't actually know which specific Pokemon it is that I feel like I really need to do damage to, but it's fine. Who's ever need to think about anything before, Then I have an alternate lead, or a follow-up in the back. I've got Scarf Chien-Pao, which is Ice Spinner to remove terrain. And then it's also got Crunch, which is its other stab move. It's got Psychic Fangs to hit Iron Valiant, and it can sometimes make more sense into Mega Venusaur, and then it's got Sacred Sword to hit Chi-Yu. Just one Pokemon, Sacred Sword and Sword. And then hopefully this will be able to outscuff them, but also it is faster than Iron Valiant with Speed Booster, which is nice. And I can put that next to Banded Diancie, who is here to click Diamond Storm, to click Player Off, sometimes click Bulldoze. And then Mystical Fire is just there for Aegislash, who is otherwise a really rude Pokemon. It's probably not amazing at Aegislash, but dropping its special attack can be nice if they're not physical. And if they are physical, I have great news. I have a Power Herb, Intimidate, Gyarados. Power Herb is genuinely only here for the Mega Venusaur. You got the bounce. You need the bounce sometimes. And then I've got Crunch to be able to hit various Psychic types. But realistically, Crunch is here to hit what's it called? Suicune, and then Bounce is here to hit Mega Venusaur if it's there. Obviously, they do have two Megas, similar to my previous opponent, so they may not wind up using both their Megas. And if that winds up working out to my favor, then that winds up working out to my favor. Do I even set Terras on some of these Pokemon? Dark Ground. I'm gonna suggest I didn't set a Terra on him. What does it most need to resist? Probably Suicune, right? Could go Terra Water, could go Terra Grass. Terra Grass is probably good. Terra, to be honest, a Terra that takes Ursaluna would also be good. But the normal resists Ghost, which isn't great. Ghost, Steel and Bug, all of which, sorry, not Bug, Rock. You can tell that I'm slightly cooked. So maybe it's still just Terra Water. I'm sort of 50-50 on Body Press versus Crunch in this slot. I think I'm gonna go with Body Press. They don't have any ground check, so no, it's gonna be Crunch. I have to be able to hit a balloon Aegislash. Sorry. So yeah, I'm very decisive. Okay. Yeah. I am gonna ping my opponent again. I am good to go. This is, yeah, a very challenging matchup. And apparently the nickname didn't work. It's the Don, not Hip the Don, no Don. Donodon does sound funny. Yeah. What's it? Sorry. Look, I may be slightly cooked this morning. I managed to get through this prep last night. I think it's probably correct. This speed I know is wrong, but I don't know what the correct speed is, so I haven't fixed it. This speed is definitely actually correct. This speed is just random. I think I had like a defensive, especially defensive benchmark I wanted to hit, and that was the only thing I thought about. But I sort of, this team's very plug and play. Like the six all work pretty synergistically with each other, partly because they're all physical attackers with the Chien-Pao. My opponent doesn't have Intimidate, so they can't really punish me for it outside of running Reflect, which, you know, surely my opponent would never run Reflect. It's just all my special attackers feel very dookie here, including a special version of Diancie. My opponent has a truly terrifying team, which, you know, I'm not the most excited to come up against, but I'm here. That's really all I can say. My hope is that with like the Chien-Pao and Diancie, I'm able to apply a lot of offensive pressure if they do bring a Trick Room lead. But, you know, maybe less than I'd hope. Yeah, I don't know. There's probably an argument for running like a Bulldoze weakness policy Diancie. But positioning that just sounds difficult. Bulldoze, not on the Diancie, but on another Pokemon. Probably in that case, Gyarados. Because I don't really have a good Bulldoze Pokemon. Like the other ones are Dracovish and Hippo. It's not the most fun sounding, and Diancie's still just very slow. But you know, that is a consideration. Also, I'm just taking Expanding Forces, which is a problem. And like the Water Terra, Diancie just has so many weaknesses that it's very difficult to Terra around them. Like if you look at Slash Weak Diancie, these are all individually challenging weaknesses to Terra around, because there are all these different Terras which may make sense in a given matchup, but you know, if I'm Terra Steel, then that's weak to ground. You know, if I'm Terra Fire, that's weak to water and ground. If I'm Terra Rock, that's weak to water. If I am, you know, Terra Water, that's weak to grass. What was the other one I considered? There was something I considered and it was weak to steel, which doesn't happen that much, so it should be obvious what type it is. I don't know. It was something. Is there even another type that's weak to steel? Let me good luck, have fun, my opponent. Okay. Terra Steel on H-Slash is good news. No Hippo. They are hard Trick Room. That makes me want to lead the Diancie Chien-Pao lead, because it's fun. I'm actually Terra Ground for the Regieleki that they didn't bring. They didn't bring Chi-Yu. That feels so crazy to me. Okay, so they didn't bring Chi-Yu. No Val, no Zam, no Chi-Yu, no Aleki, no Rhyperior either. I guess Rhyperior is just the same mon as Ursaluna, which, you know, I didn't go that way for my mascot pick, but I can understand why someone would. I want to bring Gyarados. I think I want to bring Dracovish last. Hippo? I was trying to say I don't think I want to bring Dracovish last, but I did wind up saying I think I want to bring Dracovish last. What Terra Psychic on the Indeedee? Feels really rude. Did they know that? I feel like they knew that when they made that decision. So if I'm worried about an attack coming into Gyarados, what I can do here is I can Terra Water Diamond Storm the I can Terra Water Diamond Storm the Diancie and just get the Diamond Storm off initially. And then bring in Gyarados, with the idea being that likely pressures a Terra on Aegislash, and then it also gets an Intimidate off if they're physical, and if they're special, then they aren't doing amazing damage. Well, I was gonna double the Indeedee, so now I'm just annoyed that I didn't. I mean, I kind of just want to crunch the Indeedee here. Sorry, crunch the T. I kind of want to just crunch the Aegislash here. Because it's already King Shielded. I would have preferred to get a defense boost, but you know, I understand why I didn't. It's not guaranteed by any means. Yeah, I mean, if I had just gone for the, I think what should have probably been my play of Ice Spinnering the Indeedee and going for Diamond Storm, then, you know, unless I missed, which we see that I didn't, then the Indeedee would have fainted, and they wouldn't have gotten Trick Room up, so they wouldn't have achieved anything with their turn. Okay, that crit is really annoying. Especially paired with a miss. And no defense boost. Oh, okay. Well. Good to know some stuff, I suppose. I wish I had run a slower. Well, I could have run min speed. And it would have made sense. I ran 4 speed? No one can understand why that happened. Oh, that crit is really annoying. I'm gonna protect the Gyarados this turn. This is only bad if they Night Slash crit. Okay. Oh. They're leftovers, so I know they're not a crit rate. Okay. Well, the double crit in the early game is really frustrating. But I should have just run a slower Deontay. I'm gonna crunch the Indeedee, which isn't a reliable KO, but I think they're somewhat offensive, so it might be a KO anyways. I don't want to crunch the Aegislash because I think it's going to King Shield this turn. But I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. It did not King Shield this turn. Can I concede? That's so frustrating. Yeah, okay. I mean, I've lost. That's so, like, that is a 12% and then a 4% on the previous one. What am I supposed to do if my opponent just crits me every turn? Like, that wasn't a reliable KO. Oh, no, okay, yeah, this set is just wrong. Okay, so Night Slash was a reliable KO on my Pokemon anyway, on that turn. Yeah, I mean, Scarf is not helping me here. Night Slash. Night Slash feels crazy here. I don't... Like, it must be Shadow Claw Night Slash? Or maybe Sneak Night Slash? Okay, I'm pretty sure I doubled the... What? F. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? The only reason that Night Slash crit mattered was because the Expanding Force crit happened. Okay, which of these Pokemon is least likely to have a move that kills Aegislash? They have 4 Pokemon. Alright, Gyro Ball last. Explains why they were Night Slashing. I don't think it explains why they're running Night Slash. That is so bad. That is so bad. I just don't have... How am I supposed to come back? I mean, it's just by playing a completely different game, right? Okay, I'm interested to see this Aegislash. If it's 0... I need the IVs to be 0 as well. And then it's Brave. This Gyro Ball to Chien-Pao. If I Terra, am I still dying? That's a +1. If I don't Terra... You're such a useless calc sometimes, man. I just don't understand why sometimes the calc is just the most useless thing ever. Like, it doesn't seem to me like there's a justification for why the calc is sometimes just very useless. Okay. It looks like if I Terra, Gyro Ball should not be a KO. Oh, that's from the shield form. If it looks like if I Terra, Gyro Ball is sometimes a KO. I feel like the Hippo version of the lead is just fine though. Diancie and Gyarados. Well, the Hippo version of the lead feels a lot less good now that my opponent has made a decision that affects me. I don't think anything really changes out of the specific play that I'm planning. I wish I had sub, because I did almost have sub instead of bulldoze. I'm just gonna go for a helping hand. Fish's Rent to prevent Trick Room. Sleep Powder. Yeah, I mean that's my sub would help, right? So I have to Terra Water defensively, right? I could bring Diancie in. Sorry, Terra Water defensively would be to play around a Dazzling from Hatterene. I need to wake this mon up, though. I think it means I need to risk it. They're probably going for Trick Room. They could Sleep Powder me on the Hippo slot as well, which would obviously be frustrating. If they're going Trick Room, I could just bring Diancie in. The Venusaur could be slower than Diancie. I think I need to play around Trick Room here. I need Dracovish to wake up. I don't think I'm Terra Watering for that out though. Yeah, I didn't bring any Terras that deal with or any items that deal with Sleep Powder. So it's just a constant risk. Oh, that did 1 million. Alright, is that an Expanding Force or a Trick Room? Okay, it's a Trick Room. It also could have been in Dazzling Gleam. I mean, you're definitely dying to Expanding Force this turn, though. So then... I could protect Dracovish this turn. And sack the Hippo to bring in Diancie. Kind of like that a lot. Like, that means that it survives if it wakes up. And I would rather not take damage on Gyarados if I have to. Like, if it faints this turn, that sucks, but it's just a thing that happens, right? So this is playing around them going for some move that randomly doesn't get a KO. Yeah, like that. Let's see it. No, I think I am faster. Okay. So... I mean, I just have to bounce the Mega Venusaur here, right? I have to bounce and I have to Terra Water Diamond Storm. I could Bulldoze, but Bulldoze then means that they're better into my Gyarados. Yeah, I think I have to just lock Diamond Storm, unfortunately. Okay, well that is a really good turn for me. Like, it's not 100% accurate by any means. Let's hope I don't miss bounce. Okay. I hope they're not complaining about hacks. I hope that's about my Power Herb bounce, and not about the fact that they missed a Sleep Powder after getting 1 million crits last game. I am so tilted from that. Even to an extent more than I should be, right? I mean, I Waterfall this turn, and then I Protect next turn, right? No, okay. Well, I waterfall this turn and I protect never. Locking into Diamond Storm isn't great, but no, there's not anything to say there. I think that if they King Shield it next turn, this turn it made more sense because then they weren't. Okay, yeah, I mean, you know, I could also crit them. That's pretty rude. But you know, apparently this is just a crit set. Well, that's an okay thing that happens. I wish there was just less acts in this set overall. I just wish there was less acts in the set. Wow, this is the what am I doing in this game? I mean, the Hippo lead seemed fine. Diancie was faster than... I mean, it honestly feels like the Diancie-Pao lead's fine. If they don't lead Aegislash, it's just good. I kind of want to bring Dracovish last. With a Hippo. They're both pretty reasonable. But I think it is Dracovish. Dracovish is just good. We know that it's faster than Venusaur. Mostly because it is naturally faster than Venusaur. Okay, Indeedee with any mon that is an Aegislash. Hell yeah. Cool. So... Diamond Storm. Ice Spinner. Or I could Psychic Fangs it for fun and joy. But Ice Spinner is good because it removes terrain. Yeah, it removes terrain. That's the thing that it does. If I had a different set, like if I was Sash or similar on Chien-Pao, that would have been good. Because they would have been able to protect that previous game. They still would have lost because they still had a fourth one in the back that we never even saw. But would have been good. I don't think that the Diamond Storm will pick up the Indeedee here. Just maybe an argument that I should be attacking the Indeedee, but I just don't want to, so I'm not going to. I think it's just sort of where I'm sitting. I could crunch the Indeedee instead, right? That's the other play. But I just don't want to get sleep powdered. But maybe preventing Trick Room is more important. Could also Ice Spinner, but I think Crunch is better. So, worst position here, they protect, and then they, well, probably they crit Giga Drain the Diancie, would be worse. But they sleep powder the Chien-Pao, maybe? Probably not, like, that's still fine. It's probably better than them going for Protect and Trick Room. I don't think we've seen an item on this, so it is probably Culver. Oh no, it was Citrus. I was literally thinking about Citrus in my head the entire time. Okay, can I get a defense boost this time? It's been a million years. I got the defense boost. Okay, well that's cool. 60? What do you mean they recovered up to 70%? Okay, well luckily I have a Gyarados. Unluckily, I don't know which one to target here. They just, like, haven't revealed Protect on anything, right? Have they revealed another move on? No, just expanding Force and Trick Room. So, the option is to bounce the Venusaur, or to double attack the Hatterene. I think that the option is to double attack the Hatterene here. I just don't think the Venusaur threatens a one-hit KO into either of my Pokemon, and I do threaten it. Oh, I didn't miss Sleep Powder, which sucks, but yeah. Unfortunately, RNG is a part of Pokemon. I think I will always beat Ursaluna with Dracovish, so I should bounce and crunch the Venusaur. Cool. I certainly always beat it if I have a full team of Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, look, that, I don't know, RNG sucks. I don't really have any more substantial comment to make than that. I mean, their team wound up being, like, in practice, adding a lot of RNG to the game. It wound up not being a really fun game for one that I wound up winning. GG's. Let me go post the replays. Yeah. Sure was one of the sets of all time. Dang. I'm supposed to say. Yeah. That sure was a game that I played. Thank you guys all for watching. I don't even know what I'm doing that again. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Goodbye.